Hello people of YouTube! Okay, so this is my first official America's Got Talent Season 6 recap. So 12 acts performed today, and I'm just going to go through all 12 of them, what they did, how I think they did, what the judges think they did, and then I'm going to choose who I think is going to move on. 4 of the 12 acts are going to move on, so I'm going to pick my top 5. So the first act to go was Miami All-Stars. They're a Latin dance crew. They do different types of Latin dances. They really opened up the show really well. It's a really big crew, so it got kind of chaotic on the stage, but overall, I think they have a really good chance of moving on compared to the next few acts that are going to be coming up. Next was Desmond Meeks. He's the 28-year-old singer from Louisiana. He sang Can't Get No Satisfaction today. I didn't like it. I didn't think his voice was on today compared to the last performances I had seen. And the judges were right when they said that it was more karaoke-ish, cabaret-ish, cheesy, you know, not really a $1 million Las Vegas act. I mean, he has a really good, soulful voice, but it's just not... I didn't think the performance tonight's going to get him to move on, so... Next was Those Funny Little People. These are the elves, the costumed elves, people, whatever you would call them. They dance in their costumes and sing to the song Sing in the Rain, and then their female elf came out and did It's Raining Men. I mean, it was funny. It was a lot of fun to watch. I like them. I think they're funny. I don't think they're made for Vegas. I mean, they're more of a halftime show at a basketball game kind of act, you know, but I don't think they're going to move on just because it's really too weird for this competition. Next, the Fearless Flores family. This is the family of 4 that they all ride motorcycles, and today they upped their audition. In their audition they had the 2 kids, 8 years old and 13 years old, which is crazy, by the way. Today they had their mom join in. So they had 3 motorcycles in the ball, and the dad stood in the middle again. I mean, they upped their game from their audition. I'll give them that. And it was really good. Like, I like the audition, and I like this one as well. But I just can't see where else this act can go. If all they're going to be doing is riding around doing the same tricks in the same ball, I just don't see how it can go any farther. I think they have a chance of moving on just because... they did do really well again, but if they do move on, I don't think that they are going to go much farther. Next to go up was Squonk Opera from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. This is a Squonk Opera. Freaky. In the beginning, there was this weird slideshow with, like, subliminal messages, like the Mayan calendar and all these hands popping out from nowhere, and then stars and planets, and everything was zooming. And one of the judges said it really well. He was like, I think it was Howie, he said, it's like I'm on drugs, and you guys are a drug. And they got buzzed by Piers and Sharon, and I don't blame them because the singing wasn't really up to par. I don't think it's going to move on anywhere. Okay, next up was J. Chris Newberg. He is the performer, comedian. He plays the guitar and sings these short songs that are funny or supposed to be funny. And he brought out this choir of children who had painted on goatees, like mimicking his. And then he had them sing this song called... That's a bad idea or something. Like, I didn't think he was that funny. I kind of agree with Piers that he's just not that funny. It's not the kind of style of comedy that I like. But I don't think he's funny enough to move on compared to some of the other acts in the competition. Okay, next up was Snap Boogie, the street performer from Boston. He is the one-man dancer. He pops. His performance was really good. He definitely stepped it up from his previous performances. And in this performance, he had, in the beginning, some dancers in the back that were dressed in all black, like, black leotard kind of things. Pierce was right when he said that this performance could be on Vegas, in, like, a Vegas show. Maybe not right now headlining a Vegas show, but I think if he improved on it and he's able to add more dancers, more effects, more aspects to his act, he'd be able to up his game and be able to be a Vegas act. Next up, Echo of Animal Gardens. This is the singing, talking parrot and his owner. Echo did some of his normal stuff. He said, hello, hola, and then he sang Somewhere Over the Rainbow again. I mean, it was funny. It was a lot funny. I agree with Piers that I think the bird was funnier than J. Chris Newberg, the comedian that went on earlier, which is kind of sad. But the bird was really funny. I don't think it's going to move on just because it can't really do much else. It's done the same performance 3 times now. Okay, next up, the Fiddleheads. This is the bluegrass band. They do contemporary bluegrass where they're an acoustic band, but they play very modern songs with their bluegrass instruments. This week they played Billie Jean, and the lead singer sang Billie Jean by Michael Jackson. I really liked their performances before. In their audition they did Forget You by CeeLo Green. That was really outstanding. I love the sound of bluegrass music and the instruments. I love the sound of the banjo and the mandolin. But this week, it just didn't fit with the song because they had the bass of Billie Jean going in the background. And Billie Jean naturally is a hip-hop song, dancers and crazy and lights and contemporary, but not the kind of contemporary that works when you fuse it with bluegrass. And Piers was right when he said the lead singer, who usually has this really, really awesome tone to his voice, it didn't work with Billie Jean because Michael Jackson hits all these low notes in Billie Jean and all these extremely high notes in Billie Jean, and I don't think that singer was made for that song. I don't think they're going to move on. I think they blew it for themselves because I think they were, out of these 12, had the best chance of moving on if they upped their game, because I think they were one of the better favorite acts coming into this week. Okay, next is Duo Arrow. They're a trapeze act, 2 people, husband and wife. They do trapeze and other stunts. This week they did a trapeze act to like a 1920s kind of flapper girl song with the music, and they didn't really up their game from their previous 2 performances. They did the same trick, so it just kind of got boring, and that's why they got an X from Piers, and I don't think they're going to move on just because they didn't up their game enough. Okay, next act, my favorite act of the night, Anna Graceman, the 11-year-old singer from Alaska. She has an outstanding voice. This week she did What a Wonderful World by Louis Armstrong. Legendary song. He is a great artist, and that is a great song. And she blew it out of the park. She got a standing ovation from all 3 judges. She got a standing ovation from the whole audience. It was outstanding. Her voice was perfect for that song. She sang these amazing notes. She did a really cool interpretation on the song. It was different. And she played the piano really well, and then the band in the back came in. She definitely is going to move on, in my opinion. If she doesn't, I will be shocked, because out of the 12 acts, I think she clearly was the best one. Okay, the final act of the night, the Sando Trio Russian Bar. These are 3 people, 2 guys and a female, who do acrobats on the Russian bar. The girl does the acrobats, and the 2 guys hold the bar. It's this very flimsy 4-inch bar that when she lands on it, it goes like this. She put a bed of actual nails, and then there was fire in between the rows of nails that she lit up later. And then she put it under the bar. That's crazy. Howie was right in saying that this was the only act of the night where someone could literally die from this act. If the girl fell off, she would easily be impaled by all those nails. That was one of the most dangerous acts so far on America's Got Talent. So I think just for that reason, and the fact that they went last, so it left an impression on the audience, that they're going to have a very good chance of moving on. I think they did the best right after Anna Graceman. So, Okay, so the 4 acts that I think are going to move on. If it works the way it's worked in previous seasons, there's going to be 3 acts that automatically move on, and then Nick will announce the 4th and 5th place acts, and then that's where the judges choose out of those 2 acts who got the 4th and 5th most votes from America. They choose one of them to move on, so that would cause the 4th act to go with the first 3. First, I'm going to start with automatically moving on. I'm going with Anna Graceman. If she doesn't move on, I will probably stop watching the show because she deserves to. I'm also going to go with automatically moving on the Sando Trio Russian Bar Act, the last one to go on. That was very different and cool and scary. So I'm going to go with Snap Boogie, the Miami All-Stars who went first, and then the Fearless Flores family, just for the fact that they were really cool and it was dangerous, and the judges gave them so much praise for being dangerous, and the other acts really just didn't stand up to these acts. There were not a lot of standout acts today. There were a lot of flops. So that's my pick of the night. America's Got Talent will be on tomorrow on NBC on 9 p.m. 8 Central. So watch it, find out which 4 acts are going to move on to the semifinals, and then next week, Tuesday, I'll be back to recap that live show. So, peace.